Zuri, you out here? Oh, there you are. What you need. So beautiful. Paying homage to all the people of this land. Taino, Europeans, Africans, now Haitians, honoring the house.
The African prayer, always been your favorite part of the lingua, asking Papa Legba to open the gate between the world of the spirit and of the flesh.
What you doing out here? Everything is happening over there at the pole.
We aren't really a part of all that.
The Anfamo, the cleansing ceremony. Are we not really a part of? I don't understand. What are you doing?
This is for all of Haiti. A search for what ails us, an attempt to cleanse the land. And a kind of come on.
Come on? What are you trying to catch? What are you fishing for?
Papa, I need some help. I'm searching for the pieces for an arete.
An arete?
Yes, Papa, you know, pieces of Haiti's past and present, offered to a spirit for protection.
Offered to a spirit? You mean buried in the ground under the protection of a spirit? You don't seem too sure of all this, Zuri.
Well, that's why I need your help, Papa. I need you to help me to bring Guidi here, keep him occupied.
Bring Guidi here? You're trying to call up a spirit with two faces. One looking at the dead, and one looking at the living. You're trying to trick the Lord of the graveyard. And how about the old man guarding the crossroad between spirit and flesh? Papa Legba? Those are two very powerful spirits you're messing with. You might be able to distract Papa Guidi, but Papa Legba is always watching.
I didn't say trick, I said entice. And Papa Legba will just watch, may even help. He has to help. This plan can't go forward without his help. He controls the crossroads.
Now you're mincing words. Entice, trick. And you're some sort of expert in the ways of Papa Legba? That fire in your eyes, always been there. That fire in your mouth, that's new.
You're looking at this from the wrong point of view, Papa.
No, I'm not. This looked like the ceremony from the Bois came on. The one performed by Fatima and Bookman to start the revolution. And that's why Guidi. And where did you find a black pig for the summons?
A friend found one for me, across the river near the Dominicans. They didn't obey the Yankees, kill all their pigs.
You were resourceful, I'll give you that.
Just do two things for me, Papa, and I'll be forever in your debt.
You already owe me. I raised you, remember? Debt. Nasty word. Leaves a rancid taste on the tongue.
Let's call it a favor, then. You must be my Laplace, Papa. When Guidi comes, keep everything going. Let him mount many who sins. Entice him with the dance.
And you're going to be where? Doing what?
Send me to the place beyond the graveyard, to the temple of Guidi at the crossroads.
Tricking a trickster. You're real crazy, Zuri. The crossroad between the living and the dead. You're trying to walk among the ancestors and spirit as if you're in your backyard.
Why so surprised, Hugon? Why so amused?
Don't call me that. I'm the one who does. Jehanford threw me out, accused me of being a bakor, accused me of casting harmful spells. You believe it? Me.
Can you hear this night, Papa? Can you sense it? Can you feel this night?
Zuri, they accuse me of dabbling in the petrol for money. You listening to me?
Yes, Papa, I'm listening.
No, you're not. Your mind is, I remember you as a little girl, eyes glazed over, maybe 10,000 miles away as we try to talk to you. I see that look on your face right now.
I have a confession to make, Papa.
A confession? That sounds Catholic.
I'm responsible for the rumors about you.
What? I raised you.
If two little words could cause such turmoil, they don't deserve your loyalty, your dedication.
Why? Why you start that mess?
All of this can be undone. I need a place I can trust.
A man's reputation can't be repaired like an old house after a hurricane. Damage like that can never be.
I knew you would say no if I just asked you. Ever since Mama died, you've been cooped up in that bush up there.
Now, how can you be so sure I would come down?
I knew I just had to shake you. I thought if maybe... I know how to make peace with your Hanfor when this is over.
What's happening to you, Suri? Ever since that earthquake, ever since your friends died.
This is bigger than that. There's more at stake.
Well, what's your plan? What's your plan anyhow?
A trip to the Temple of Greedy. That's all.
That's all? What for? What you going to do there?
Papa, I've had this reoccurring dream. In this dream, I'm in a clearing, just in the bush. I'm aware that this place is where the past and the present and the future intersect. 4 people come towards me out of the bush, trying to hand me 4 different objects. And as I extend my hand to receive them, like that, I'm awake. I know that that place in my dream is the Temple of Guidi at the crossroads. And what they are trying to hand me are the pieces for an arret.
The pieces for an array. You know, might be a big difference between what you're searching for and what's in their hands.
Papa, I have to try. Somebody has to do something to put an end to the suffering, this hate for women, for girls, for everyone.
You're speaking as if you think it's all so easy. Find those pieces, bring them back. You know, many of us walk far and never look back at what we're leaving behind.
I'm always looking back, Papa. At Ashifutima, at Bukman. They sent Toussaint to the crossroads. Even remember that he spoke to the Taino Queen Anacona. That's why I'm always looking back, way back. I know why Columbus and his Spaniards put that rope around her neck.
We all know what the Spaniards did to her. That's why we still celebrate her life on this land. But if we're always looking back, how can you recognize the present? Show it to stub your toe, fall on your face.
I don't need to look, I know where I'm going, Papa. I don't need to look on the road, just on the horizon. Something's been bothering me ever since I visited the museum at Fort de Joux. Toussaint went back, why not me?
Now you're comparing yourself to Toussaint. He never told a soul what the Taino Queen said. He came back empty-handed, with only dreams. You see where those dreams landed him? On an icebox on a mountain in France.
You think there's something wrong with hopes and dreams?
Nothing wrong with dreams, but you should be very careful where you let them take you. You know, in some places they believe all existence is the dream of a god.
Well, in our case, that God must be deep in a nightmare. We are abandoned, Papa, left open to all kinds of attacks, spiritual and otherwise. They come at us like stinging flies. We need to resurrect our sacred knowledge.
Resurrect? You think the ancient spirits went somewhere? They're here with us right now. And the animals we even sacrifice. And don't forget, in trees and the land we came from.
I know, Papa. I know. But the spirits are causing all kinds of mischief. I see them plain. Especially the Eternals, Toussaint and the others, who died with the smell of power on their noses, destiny just outside of arm's reach. Something's been plaguing me ever since I visited the museum, or ever since I visited Fort de Joux, where they killed Toussaint.
Why would you go to such a place?
Well, it's a museum now. And I read somewhere that Toussaint's skull was on display. So I wanted to see how barbarians celebrate.
Well, was it there? Did you see it?
So I went there with this plan, this urge. But then there was this old woman in an ill-fitted dress who kept her eyes on me the whole time. You know how when you enter a shop and the shopkeeper keeps their gaze on you from the moment that you enter the store?
Yeah, I know. Thieves always think everyone else is a thief.
Mm-hmm.
You should have knocked her down, grabbed the skull. Because that sense is still in it. You know, bring it back to Haiti. Would have caused an uprising and international incident. Make you a hero. The woman who brought Toussaint back home.
Yeah, and they would have caught me, put me in jail. I'm glad his skull wasn't there. The French never relinquished their trophies.
Too bad you couldn't find it. No one knows the exact place of his grave. Such a man, thrown in the grave like a stray dog.
I read something about Toussaint once, written by a French doctor, the last person to see him alive. He claims that Toussaint spoke to the Taino queen, Anacona. He says he couldn't discern.
Couldn't discern? Well, what did he write if he couldn't discern?
He called it delirium, hallucinations. He was in Fort de Joux, in Toussaint's cell, and Toussaint didn't even know he was there. He spoke to the Taino queen about the land and the destiny of the divine. Strangest bit of writing I have ever read, by a man of science. It reminded me of that last book of the Bible, the Revelations of St. John.
The night sees what you have in mind, child. That's why all this restlessness. Have you ever heard the saying, let sleeping dogs alone? So tell me, why you and why now?
Well, why not me? And if not me, who? When? You already said I missed my chance at the museum.
So by tricking the lower and entering the temple of Voudo, you think you can unravel that conversation between Toussaint and the Taino Queen? Bring all that back? Secure the past and present? Bring all that back? Bring peace and tranquility to Haiti?
You boil it down like cane juice, Papa.
Only to get to the essence of the matter.
Your sarcasm is painful. Can't you see? I'm asking for help from everyone and everything. You know the ways of Papa Legba, speaking to the spirits for us with his many tongues.
Zuri, I didn't raise you to what you lost in this miasma. Your energy is like a disease.
All will be well, Papa. I'll be there and back long before sunrise. Have no fear.
That's exactly what bothers me. No fear.
Under different circumstances, Papa, I would do this alone. I've read all 256 pages of the Voudo Ifa, and still, they refuse to let me be a Babaloa. I have sat at the feet of Orishmila, received her gifts of prophecy and ethics and wisdom. I know the ways of Ishu, the dispenser of spiritual justice. I know our ways.
You learn a lot, Zuri. But every Bako, every voodooist on this island is looking at you. If they see you making a mess of things, they will come after you.
You can shield me from the Bakors. Let me hide in your shadow.
I can't protect you from all of them. There will be a price to pay. There is always a price to pay, you know that.
I am willing to pay that price, Papa. But I need you there with me. With you there, the price won't be so high to pay.
I can't be in two places at the same time. If you get trapped in the temple of Voudo, your soul can be lost. Your body will walk the earth soulless. There's only one way out if you're caught in the temple of Voudo. Voudo will ask you one question. You must answer it right. You get just one chance. You sure you want to take that risk?
Yes, Papa. I'm willing to take that chance. But what's the answer?
I don't know the question Voudo will ask you. You're on your own. You're traveling a very dangerous road, Zuri.
I know the road of Ifa, the road between the living and the dead.
You know, we all know that road. But how many of us live to tell the tale? Walk it and live to tell the tale.
Well, we do in our dreams, Papa, as we dream.
That's why some of us never come back. Remember that fella Pierre who lived up on the hill near us?
He was a crazy man. That had nothing to do with souls or spirits. They call that schizophrenia.
You remind me of me when I was your age. You'll have to call them one at a time. And you'll have to keep them bound to you so they can't ignore you or walk away. They won't be pleased with you at times. That attitude of yours will drive them crazy.
I know that, Papa. I realize that. And I'll try to be diplomatic. Wait, are you saying... I went away to see the world instead of staying here and learning from you.
Don't jump ahead of me, girl. I just might step on your heels. I promise nothing. Not yet.
Are you saying this because... I'm sorry. Such an ungrateful daughter.
We miss you real bad. You let us occasionally once in a blue moon.
Well, there's so many distractions out there. Books, men, food. I saw many wonders out there. And lo and behold, it brought me right back to this land.
You know, you have me almost convinced. But you know, spirits can crawl inside of you and drive you crazy.
I'm already crazy, Papa. Can't you tell?
No joking, Zuri. What are you going to do with whatever you find in the temple of Guidi? Will you bury the arrowhead? Who will protect it? Which Lord?
Hard to say, Papa. I'll know when I have the pieces in hand.
What did you just spoil me? Give me a for instance.
Well, what can I say? I can form a great big glob and shove it down the throat of the next person who says, "Oh, are you Haitian?" with that look of pity that tells me that I'm really from the poorest country in the hemisphere. Are we really that poor? I think we see ourselves differently, don't we? But every time I hear poorest nation in the hemisphere, poorest nation in the hemisphere, written 3 or 4 times in every article, in every commentary, as if they're trying to cultivate a certain image of us.
You still didn't answer the question. You've always had that way about you, even as a little girl.
This is a rich country, Papa. Right here, this land. And the water's just off the shore. Enough riches to nourish generations, and still, they call this country poor. Thieves. They bleed us and then they blame us, as if we lack some common instinct, something besides money and the ability to protect ourselves from vultures.
They. Who are they?
You know who they are. The club, the rich men's club. They think of us as game, fair game. They make us cut down. They make us sell everything that we can grow, everything that we can cut down, just so that we can pay the interest off on the loan from the club.
You're suffering from that disease, Zuri. Too much stuff in your brain. I swear, I bet you often try to play chess with more than one person at a time.
Well, I've never tried that, but it sounds interesting.
Raising the dead, making the spirit of the living come to you and obey. Juggling then. Have you ever tried juggling? Who are you? You're not God. You're not God, Zuri. Only on a room.
I know what God is allowed and what humans are. I am a child of Africa and a child of Haiti. Absolutely familiar with the lineages of both.
You're still ignoring the risk. You want to call up a crazy power man, a man who had once all of Europe trembling, a crazy man. Who else you bringing here? You can get more than your feelings hurt.
I realize that, Papa. I know. I just need. I can stand the licking. I can stand it. For this land. For you, it's the least I can do. For the woman who gave birth to me and the mother who raised me.
None of us know exactly what we're willing to risk until that moment.
I'm quite sure, Papa. Life, limbs. I would walk all over this land, all over this world. And to those who will listen, I'll shout about the plight of women and girls. Continue the work of those harbingers that died in the quake. What's so funny?
You might be lucky if you come away with just a licking. I might live to regret this. Keep in mind, everyone that you summon will see you as a different person. Do not speak your name in this realm. The spirit can use that against you.
I must have changed your mind. Thank you, Papa. Thank you for your trust in me.
Yeah. Don't thank me. Your thanks belongs to God and the spirits. Listen, don't deviate one iota from what I'm about to tell you. You understand the purification of Janae? Now keep the African prayer in your heart.
That's it? That's all? Well, they told me that.
Forget everything they told you. Forget everything you've ever read. Be thankful that you have just one soul, because that's what you're risking.
I would risk more if I had it.
That's what you're saying now. But on the road to the temple of Voudo, their fascination can boil the blood in your heart.
No need to scare me, Papa. I've imagined it, and I know that road in darkness and light.
You will hear the warning of crows as you enter the bush.
Crows?
You will hear babies crying. You will see an old woman sitting near a house on the side of the road, beating something in a mortar with a pestle. Do not look at the mortar and don't greet her. Just keep on down the road.
Well, what if she greets me?
At the end of this road, across the river, you'll meet a great white snake coiled around a rainbow. Know that you are in the presence of Dambala and Ada Voudo. They will ask you questions. You must answer them truthfully. And they'll allow you passage to Barra and the Temple of Voudo.
Well, what if they're not satisfied with my answers? I mean, what if they do something to me? And
You can't go there with doubts and fear in your heart. Clear mind. You're the one who wants to dig up the graveyard, put skin on bones. And be ready when you get back with the pieces fully red.
okay.
He just one advice. Do not ignore your instincts. Can't waste time. Weedy out there right now.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready.
Nampala, Eda Widu, this woman is coming to Barra, the crossroad between the living and the dead. Eda Widu, mother of the universe, show the soul the light of your rainbow. Keep her feet on the path. Let her be blameless with you now and forever.
The Temple of Guidi? It's different than I imagined it. Papa Legba, let Napoleon come. Let Simbi help him to come to me. The dog scents the wake of your passage, Napoleon Bonaparte.
Cerberus at the gates of Hades, but a negress? How interesting.
This is another time in a place that should be well known to you, Napoleon Bonaparte.
I'm the first consul.
First Council, you are here bound to me at my will, soul's tie.
Your will? Bound? What's this place? What manner of black magic and witchery is this? Someone told me if I come here and speak, I may be allowed to leave St. Helena, see Josephine once more. Such an offer I could never refuse.
This is the place that was once known as Saint Dominique. Today we call it Haiti, as the Taino did.
I've never seen this place, but I know it in my heart. Could smell it in the air. It's on your face, miserable scrap of the world, this Haiti. But what do you want?
You are here, courtesy of Aloran Papa, at the Temple of Guidi, between the living and the dead.
Between the living and the dead? Interesting mumbo jumbo. What do you want?
It's right there on your face, just as they said it would be. Why this disdain? Why this hatred for black people in general and Haitians in particular?
Hatred of blacks? Hatred of Haitians? Why waste that powerful emotion on such? Only a fool hates his own dogs.
Dogs?
No, wrong analogy. Most dogs are intelligent, gentle, obedient creatures. You blacks are more like beasts of burden, placed on this earth by God to serve us, white people. Creatures like you must be of use, or you rid yourself of...
Ugh. And you think of us as...
I gave orders to slay all of you, burn you at the stake, your babies on bayonets, teach you black bastards to rebel against the French Empire. Could always purchase more of you. This land was the prime commodity.
You are spouting an ancient, racist harangue.
Nothing ancient about my sentiments. May not be in vogue to speak so bluntly. Was never in vogue except in select company, but in the belief of white people, you are still creatures to be used.
Like you used Josephine?
You dare mention her name with that foul black mouth. You Haitians were destined to serve the greater good of France. What else could you do? It was ordained by God and church.
Haiti's fate had nothing to do with God. It was you. Your lust for money and power, your nepotism and your egocentrism. It must have driven you crazy how Haitians would serve one another. How dare we defy the will of the great Napoleon Bonaparte?
Haitians never served Haitians. You have always served that grim fraction of the human heart, self-centered avarice, greed. If you did serve each other, we wouldn't be here right now. Don't forget you are speaking to a Corsican, one who knows islands and the enmity that can brew in such a space.
You are speaking of yourself, Napoleon. Europeans feared you for all those reasons and your Corsican blood. But that's not my concern here. I'm just here for a little bit of truth.
Truth? You don't want truth. You want me to change the human narrative. Pretend that you Haitians were not responsible for what happened to you. I'm no magician. Haitians have always been the carriers of their past. So why stand before me pleading for help in some pitiful scheme? I see larceny in your eyes.
Look who's talking larceny. You and your countrymen. From Marseille, Bordeaux, Le Havre, Nantes, all of you inflicted terrible suffering on the people just to make money in that nasty trade in human flesh.
Don't talk to me about suffering. That's the way of the world, one of the measurements of the human condition. I was a boy when my father sent me to be educated in France. Imagine a Corsican boy in the midst of those bigoted fools, the verbal abuse, the jokes, the tricks. I hated them. I hated France for what they were doing to me and what she was doing to my beloved Corsica.
How sad. You allowed them to make you into the mercenary that you became. You brought this onto yourself and your family with your nepotism and your egocentric... You could have steered Europe and the rest of the world into a new direction. But instead, you let the little Corsican boy take control. Crying under your sheets at night, pissing in your bed. You never forgot that abuse, did you, Napoleon?
You will address me as the first consul. Let me have that machete. I'll peel that skin from your bones and use it as a rug.
First Consul, you and France raped Haiti. You molested us as a man molests an innocent child. First, you kidnapped Toussaint, and then you saddled the country with a terrible debt.
It makes no difference. You had others, many others. There are always soldiers ready to enter the breach, take the place of the fallen. It was war, simply war.
Well, and then you started to tell lies about us. Painted us as black monsters who would kill anything white in Haiti. But didn't your soldiers obey your orders? Kill anything black. We can always get more from Africa. Kill all prisoners. Burn all crops. Your orders, First Consul.
We misjudged you. You Haitians turned out to be just as ruthless as we were. But are we here to speak the truth or debate the oddities of history?
Truth seldom stands in the light. Like the seed of a fruit, if you bite down too hard, you might chip a tooth. But if the fruit is ripe, the seed might slip out and later sprout.
Who cares about fruits? Only winemakers. You get in the way of the wheel and you get crushed like a grape. That's all there is to it. The wheel has no conscience.
You pretend not to. Okay, how about the man at the reins? The one controlling the wheel.
The one at the reins may not have as much control as you think.
Huh. You call yourself First Consul and yet claim you had no control?
As long as everyone else believed I had control, I had control. In essence, they gave me control.
What kind of mirror talk? You bother me, Napoleon.
I bother you. That black bastard Toussaint bothered me, robbed me of my destiny. You stupid, stupid black people. You all failed to realize that your deliverance was intertwined with my fate and the destiny of the French Empire.
How interesting how you blame your deficiencies on Toussaint Louverture and the black race.
I have no deficiencies. Your perception of all this is sorely lacking. Cause and effect. Nothing is static. The retreat from Russia, going to battle against that big-nosed Englishman and his allies at Waterloo. On the contrary, I loved Haiti. She poured more money into our treasury than... I heard of Toussaint's last communication to his sons. One day you will go back to Saint Dominique. Forget that France murdered your father. Liar. Vicious legacy to bestow on your children.
But the history is clear. You did murder him.
France arrested and imprisoned a rebellious Negro. All his cohorts, they wanted Toussaint out of the way. That's why they gave him to us. In all our negotiations, not once did they seek his release.
Negotiations? The man lasted less than a year. Starvation, bone-chilling cold, effective weapons against a man from the Indies, subtle torture, no blood on your hands. And then you started to tell lies about the man, about how he hid gold in the mountains, about how he murdered the people who helped him hide that gold. Fantasies drudged up from your dyspeptic imaginations.
How would you know anything about Toussaint Louverture? Even I don't know everything. The one thing that still puzzles me, he pleaded for the welfare of his wife and children, but never once for himself. He bore the cross.
First Council, why put so much time and energy in this little scrap of land? Not even half
As
of an
I said
island.
before, money. Money for France's coffer. This place supplied more revenues. If Toussaint and the others had behaved, I would have had enough resources to remain in Russia throughout that winter, and later on beat Wellington at Waterloo. But no, that wretch, riling the slaves, talking about freedom, robbed me of all my ambition towards North America. Instead of invading and seizing territory for France, I had to sell Louisiana.
There you go again, blaming Toussaint Louverture.
I remember being asked why I broke the treaty we signed with him, why we arrested him under a flag of truce. Stupid questions.
Sounds to me like you are trying to justify treachery.
I don't have to justify anything. The moral and ethical standards expressed by white men are for white men, between white men. My codes were never for blacks. If our moral standards applied to blacks, we would not be permitted to hold them as slaves, would we? Toussaint should have known that. How can a slave enter into a contract with an emperor?
First Council, Toussaint was also a sovereign. He spoke for Haiti, for all the people of Haiti.
What people of Haiti? They were our slaves, our property, and they fully understood that.
They were not your slaves or anyone's property. That's why they fought you and won. They liberated themselves.
Only in theory. Why else would they allow us back into the country? To count every man, woman, and child, all the crops, even down to the blades of grass, and demand a price they agreed to pay.
Like a buccaneer or a thief, you held the big guns to their heads, threatened to starve their children with the help of your friends.
Friends? What a feeble concept. Weaklings need friends. When you have the power, you protect your interests. So-called friends can be difficult. Civility, compassion. Why? We wanted you to remain in servitude to us. You had the option of returning to the fields. That's civility.
Too bad for you, that was not the case.
It was the case and remains so. Even groveling to the Americans didn't change that. They saw you as one big sharecropper enterprise, jumped at the opportunity to get you under their thumb.
You must remain below, Napoleon. You and all the others that tried to seal Haiti's fate. Go to hell.
I'm already in hell with all your national heroes. Silly fools murdering each other, getting sucked in, declaring themselves kings and emperors. Power in men always take two routes. One route is to the brain. Men will always be men, black, white, red, or yellow. If women are ever given a taste of power, it'll be just the same. Eliminate all threats and competitors. Isn't that how it's done in your circles? I've seen women at work.
No. No, if women were in charge, Haiti would be a wonderful place to live, to raise a family. We would be able to reap the fruits of our labor. There would be the rule of law. There would be equality for all people.
A veritable Garden of Eden is what you're looking for. I'll linger here for a moment, see how things... I can certainly find a home amongst your divine. You're not the only one with power. Connect me to your world, or you will never leave this place. You are bound to me as I'm bound to you. I know your practice. I've studied your voodoo.
No, Napoleon, not here, not today. You made a deal with the trickster Papa Legba. To Papa Legba, you must go.
Chicanery. How dare you? There was a promise. There was a promise.
Tonton Maku, come take this one. Simbi will help. Bring him back to the crossroads, back to Papa Legba. For our country, for our forefathers, united let us march. United let us march. Let there be no traitors in our ranks. Let us be the masters of our soil. This is so hard. I can feel it in my gut. That I must move forward.
Papa Legba, send me Toussaint Louverture. Let Cindy bring the first leader. Let's see what he has to offer for the arrest.
This place, I've been here before. The Temple of Greedy. I'm a coroner, queen of the Tenno. Your inquiry still haunts me.
I'm not the Tano Queen, but I did summon you.
You look like the Tenno queen. Who are you and what can I do for you?
I'm a Mambo, looking for answers.
Answers?
I feel funny not paying homage, father of our country. What should I call you?
Toussaint. That's what they left me. The name my parents gave me. Father of our country. No, I only paved the way.
Humility, Monsieur Toussaint. It fits you so well. Is it that no man gave as much to Haiti as you?
But what I gave, certainly not enough, was it? I made so many mistakes. I felt if we knock them down and they get up, and we knock them down again, eventually they would see our power, embrace us as equals in brotherhood. I was wrong. I should have destroyed everything European in Haiti. Burn the houses, burn the books, take us back in the way from all this whiteness.
Back and away. Monsieur, they would have called you insane, barbaric.
That would have been an honor. Men only listen if you speak to them in a language that they understand. My compeer saw it clear, heard it clear, and waited for them on his side of the road. Perfect match for the brutes that sent by the consul.
But your successor only completed what you started.
No. He did more than that. He was an avenging angel. Wish I could have done as much as he did. I sense no purpose in this line of conversation.
Monsieur, Haiti needs you. I need you. I need you to help me to persuade the ancestors, the spirits. Help me to find the pieces for an erect.
Ah, Voudo? Mambo, I don't understand. You are trying to stop some kind of curse? How can I help you?
Monsieur, our mythology, our religion, everything's so scattered. Even the dirt that promises food, blown into the air, washed into the rivers and down to the sea. You were here at the beginning with Fatima and Bokman. Tell me, what's missing? How much of our ancient and sacred knowledge have we lost?
I'm not a practitioner of voodoo. I'm a Catholic, but I'm more a man of the sword. I know little about charms and the sacred. If spirits are causing you problems, there's nothing I can do for you.
Not for me, Monsieur Toussaint, but for all of Haiti. As we speak, an envoiement is being performed.
Envoiement? The cleansing ceremony? What an idea. You know it was performed in the Voice Cayman many years ago? We intended to cleanse the land, send the French back to their country.
I intend to do a similar thing, Monsieur Toussaint, with your help.
I'm no Huguenot. I'm a soldier. Unpractical, begun the sword, rituals and speeches only to inspire courage. I don't see how I can help.
Monsieur Toussaint, you are an ancestral spirit. Tell me why the spirits are displeased with us. Why did they abandon us, leave us open for all manner of mischief?
If you seek advice on the gun or the sword, military strategy, as I said before, yes. If you seek advice on handling deceit and duplicity, all kinds, maybe.
Those days are long gone. We only use violence and trickery on each other now.
How do you fight your enemies? You still have enemies.
We have enemies, but we can't see them. Wolves in sheep's clothing.
I know what you mean.
Why did you allow your enemies? From your speeches, you knew them more than well. Why did you allow?
Fatigue, vanity, fear. We all like to think of soldiers and statesmen as ideals. But you know.
Fatigue, I understand. But fear? From you?
Fear come in many forms. I instructed restraint from all acts of barbarism out of the belief that one day the French, the English, the Spaniards, and the Americans would patch up their differences, get together and send an armada to kill us, to kill every black in Haiti.
You think they would have attempted genocide?
Would have stopped them. I don't mention the churches. I wanted to give them no excuses. I knew of their proclivity to twist our indignation into their rationale for committing mass murder, so I struck a balance.
You struck a balance. They claim you wanted to be like them. You sent your children to be schooled by them. You dressed like them, spoke like them.
I knew of their desires, but they didn't know mine. I knew what motivated them, so I tried to appeal to their sense of decency. Reason and their greed, of course.
Greed, I understand. But decency and reason. Monsieur, you're dealing with bloodthirsty predators. How can you approach them with anything but force?
When you stand in the darkness, the temptation is to move away from the light, toward the familiar, toward some kind of future, some kind of peace. Is that a form of cowardice? I don't know. I could have invoked fire.
Fire is a great purifier. They accomplish something close to their aims.
No, really. You are still here on this land, and you are free.
Barely. We're barely holding on to this land.
But you are holding on. Times will change.
Oh, God, I hope so.
The first time I fell in love with this land, I was passing through the Artibonite, coming back with an empty carriage. After dropping off some passengers, the smell of the fresh tilled earth filled my nostrils, lured me in. I steered the horses to the side of the road, walked way into the field, and grasped a handful of dirt, brought it up to my nostrils. Before I realized, I had filled my mouth with the soil. I swallowed. It slid over my tongue like the warm meat. That's when I knew. I found a smooth rock that the plow had brought to the surface. It fitted snugly into my palm. I've always kept that rock to remind me.
We've been at war for so long now. They continue this aggression against us even to this day, calling it by all kinds of weird little names. Everything except for what it truly is. Napoleon said you should have
Should have known what? Napoleon, heartless little swine. I've always recognized slavery as an act of war. Cruel designs from the heart of men, executed with the weapons of all kinds. I trusted the consul and his minions because I wanted slavery to end, blood war to end. Too much blood, too many dead men, too many conspiracies.
They wore you down, monsieur.
Yes. Grew tired of it. Could only see years of blood and sacrifice. They dangled a chance. Led me to believe that I could speak for the first consul, face to face, island man to island man, outsider to outsider, having a discussion about the constitution I draft to send him. I thought he might be honorable, a soldier.
You should have known that trust is an earned commodity. After all, he did send his soldiers to force you and your people back into the fields.
At many times one must take that leap of faith. After we landed in France, they placed my family in a nice house, fed us well. But after a few days, soldiers came, put me in chains and took me away.
What entered your mind?
My predicament didn't hit me for a long time. I've always thought of myself as useful, not the kind of man that reasonable people would discount or discard.
Even then, you held on to your dignity and your worth.
Yes. It was all consuming. I expected Napoleon to offer me an army, send me back to Saint Dominique as governor, offered freedom to all people. After all, he spoke of freedom in his letters to me. The offer never came. Might be easy to say yes or no now, but you see what I mean? You tell a person something and they forget. You let a person discover that thing, and they call it insight, would hang on it forever.
I hear what you're saying, Monsieur Toussaint, but I can't just wait until some intuition hit me. I need to know, and I need to know now. I'm on a mission.
That's easy to see. The way you're sneaking around this place like a burglar. You mentioned the temperament of the spirits. Suppose the spirits are trying to warn you. You may never see it because you are looking down just one road. I must take my leave now.
Monsieur Toussaint, you can't leave. You're bound to me and this place. I'll release you if you tell me how it feels to be dead.
Well, lady, why would you want to know? Do you want to hold out for...
No. Tell me, Monsieur.
It is like a disjointed vision, outside of space and time. At first, you see things from your present, but then they fade. You try to revisit them, but you can't. Hell is a struggle to get back to those retreating memories.
Can't be that simple. Tell me how you're transported outside of space and time. Give me some details.
You are morbid, young lady, but I'll tell you. I sat in a chair in the jail cell, and my lungs were on fire. The fire went up to my throat, starting a vicious cough. The cold took control, and I shivered completely. Cold blood trickled out of my mouth, and I wiped it with my sleeve of my shirt. But then the cough racked my body again, and blood spewed with each gasp. Chunks of flesh almost choked me, coming out of my throat. First, I saw my wife and my 2 boys, Isaac and Racine. And then I saw my most dedicated friend, Mars Blazer. My valet, he went to prison with me. The man committed no crime, but he remained at my side. Eventually, I could see them no more, but the inkling of a loss remained. And then the people and the land became focal. All of my hopes for this country lashing me like a whip. That's where I am.
Is that hell, monsieur?
We are Haitians. There are no heaven and hell for us, is there? Eventually, you come to an understanding. It's like being in purgatory. In times, you realize everything is temporary, even death.
Even death.
Yes. We are in the circle. Nothing dies. We always come back. We come and we go like rain or waves on the beach. I'll tell you what the Tano Queen asked me. It was only one question. What happens to God when there's no one left to worship them or offer sacrifice?
Thank you, monsieur. You thought you couldn't help, but you made your contribution. My life as it is today began with you. I won my first scholarship by reciting one of your speeches.
I made so many speeches. Which one?
The one you made before the Battle of Ravine-la-Cour at the Artibonite. I was 14 years old when I found it and wrote it down in preparation for a speech competition. I belted it out the way I imagined you would. You'll fight enemies who have no faith, no law, and no religion. They promise you liberty, but they intend your servitude.
Oh, yes. I remember that one. Why have so many ships traversed the ocean, if not to throw you again into chains? I compared Napoleon and France to wicked stepmother. I spoke of the melting courage of French soldiers the moment they breathe this air, and how those who do not perish at our swords will be struck dead by our avenging climate. Their bones will be scattered among these mountains and rocks, tossed about the waves of our sea. Nevermore will they behold their native land. Nevermore will they receive the tender embraces of their wives, their sisters, their mothers, and the liberty will reign over their tombs. One of my finest moments. Where did you find it?
In books, monsieur. In books, people still speak and write of your deeds.
How flattering. Memory and history, a volatile mix. I must go now, before longing and temptation crush my soul. Here, for the Eric. The commander at Fort Dejoux had strict orders from Napoleon to keep me imprisoned under the harshest of conditions. No visitors, no uniform or title, no jewelry, no watch. They just gave me a cheap clock to watch the passage of time. The man allowed me to keep that stone. I'll never know why.
I don't think I can do this. This is breaking my heart. I want to go back.
I don't think you can go back. You're on a journey that must be completed. No one forced you to come here, I'm sure. Farewell and good luck. Long live Haiti.
Papa Legba, send me the African. The one with our skin from America. Let Simbi bring him. Let's see what this white black man has to say.
Is that you, Annie? My dearest daughter. You died way too young.
Monsieur Douglas, you're incorrect. I'm not your daughter.
You look like I imagined her grown. Pray tell, madam, who are you and where am I? Wait a minute. The air is warm. Sounds. This reminds me. Your clothes. This is not of my century. They told me of it, and I saw wonders. Am I in Haiti?
Yes, Monsieur, you're in Haiti. In the temple of Guidi, in between the living and the dead, in the place of all souls.
This land of mountains, lovely as I remember. But what am I doing here, in this temple of Guidi? Your posture, your tone resembles some kind of tribunal. What did you say about souls?
Never mind about that, Monsieur. My only purpose is to see Haiti through your eyes. Many men came to Haiti for many different reasons, and you were just...
Sounds to me as though you might be concealing an agenda. What's your name? What are you trying to...
My name is of little importance, Monsieur. And as I said, my only agenda is to see Haiti through your eyes.
There's something not quite right here. Your country through my eyes?
Yes, Monsieur Douglas, through your eyes. I wanted to know what you saw when you looked at Haiti.
I saw misery, yearning and promises as bright as the morning star. Still, I imagined a lost child on the road. A carriage is racing towards the child, and I was impotent to affect the outcome. That's my regret. That's the only light I can shed on Haiti and her people. I once verbalized my feelings about the treatment of my people in America. I hope and trust all will come out right in the end, but the immediate future looks dark and troubled. I cannot shut my eyes to the ugly facts before me. Madam, I could have been speaking about Haitians.
Such sorrow in your words. And your reference to my country as a lost child?
Don't feel insulted. We are all lost children of Africa, are we not? Aren't we all children in the eyes of the Almighty God?
We are who we are, Monsieur, and certainly the children of God. But I don't worry too much about the eyes of the Almighty God. My soul is pure. I brought violence to no one through words or deeds. At least, not yet.
Well, good for you. A safe haven in a troubled world, a pure soul. But I cannot ignore that look of despair in your eyes. I've been there. I've seen that look many times. It can lead you to places from which you may never return.
Don't worry about my eyes, Monsieur. Those other eyes, the eyes of men, filled with covetousness, violence, greed, those are the ones you should worry about. And the things they perpetuate when they think God's back is turned.
You don't have to lecture me on the conduct of men. I've been on the receiving end of all manner of their transactions, benign, malignant, and in between. But somehow, I arrived at a stage in my life where I question the effectiveness of violence. Can you believe that?
No, I can't. You are a man, after all. I listen to people speak for and about Haiti. They dwell on the violence of it and what we became, as if they would have preferred some other option to the one we took. That speech you gave in Chicago so long ago, don't you remember, Monsieur Douglas? World's Fair. Until Haiti spoke, the slave ship, followed by hungry sharks, greedy to devour the dead and dying slaves flung overboard to feed them, plowed in peace the South Atlantic, painting the sea red with Negro's blood.
Oh, yes, I remember. Until Haiti spoke. In no flattering terms, I spoke of Haiti and her people. I expressed my never-ending love for your country, her people, and her contribution to humankind.
Monsieur, your words must have fallen on deaf ears. No one remembers that we didn't start the violence. Those who sent the ships, who kidnapped our ancestors, those are the ones who started the fire.
We are all marked by the influences of the places where we were born. For you, Haiti, from me, America. We inherited the sins and must carry it around like a crooked load. Lord, has mercy always, and a sad side to what I had to do.
Inherited sins? What a Christian belief. Are you seeking for forgiveness, Monsieur?
Very little that I needed forgiveness for. But I have certain regrets.
What you had to do. Is that one of your regrets?
Yes. I attended events where greedy bastards with no sense of decency would insult us. Slave owners from the southern states thinking of people like you and me
as commodities. Not much has changed.
pudgy-faced white men with too much whiskey under their belts, using too many fricatives. The end result? Spit in my face as they spoke words such as these. I see bucks in Haiti that would bring $1,500 to $2,000 each on the auction block in New Orleans. Perfect for stud breeding. Such blatant... That's how they saw all Africans.
Yet you came, monsieur. You participated in such... Well, what should I call it?
I thought I could make a difference. Influence those in high places to treat you with due respect. After all, I was the emissary to Haiti.
They used you to further their own interests, Monsieur Douglas. Don't you know that? The progeny of Yankee slaves partnered with some Haitians, those with less pigment, coupled with foreigners from all over, trampling black Haitians. You speak of democracy, we elect a leader. You tie his hands behind his back or chase him out. A history of interferers and interlopers.
Sounds like divide and conquer. But your own people helping others to trample you?
The elites, such fools, thinking that somehow they'd have less if they shared, when just the opposite is true.
I know. When the pie expands, those in control of capital stand to gain the most.
Exactly. So what's the problem? Is it some sort of disease? To me, there's no going back once a threshold is crossed. No returning to the fields, no giving back the whip to the master's hands, no reshackling our chains.
Power concedes nothing without the demand. It never did and it never will. So that's the course Haitians have taken.
But we can't fight forever. Monsieur Douglas, that's exhausting. It saps the energy from the people, from the land that can only absorb so much blood, and the people who can only tolerate so much pain.
Surrender then. Give up. Let your land go. Let your people wander into the wilderness with no place to call home. Forget about reaffirming your status as free people. Too much work. The vultures are waiting, circling.
Monsieur Douglas, you're a very complex and vexing man. But your sarcasm hides a definite uncertainty about your belief in humanity.
I don't know the uncertainty of which you speak. I cover nothing with rhetoric. If that's what you are saying, the truth is all I know. I would unite with anybody to do right and with nobody to do wrong.
Fine words, but hypocrisy sneaks up on all of us. And towards Haiti, it is perpetual and twisted. They have no respect for our blood, no respect for our revolution, no respect for our sovereignty. And you were a part of that.
I was never wittingly a part of any hypocrisy. No man can put a chain about the ankle of his fellow man without, alas, finding the other end fastened about his own neck. The world is a dangerous and perverse place.
You can say that again. I've read many histories. Starvation, bloodshed, barbarism, humans against humans. Race, nationality, religion, merely justifications.
So what's to be expected? Compassion, decency. You look at it in simple terms, removing all befuddlement and ideological trappings. It seems to me what remain are simply gangs of well-organized thieves and murderers.
But, Monsieur, there's no looking at humanity in simple terms. And expecting the perpetrators to make restitution? Never. Their constant aim is to blame and suppress the victims.
Well, at least we agree on that point. Don't forget that I was once a slave, a living example of what you speak. I'll never forget the day that I reclaimed my humanity. I raised my fist and struck the man they called the nigger breaker. A man called Covey, knocked him to the ground, saw the surprise and fear in his eyes. Let me tell you, it was the most exhilarating. Keep in mind, I am the product of both races.
I know that, Monsieur. So you know what it means to be Haitian. You know the fire in our blood.
Oh yes, I know. I've looked down that road. I once had 3 associates, one black, a doctor named McCune, and 2 whites, a rich politician named Garrett Smith, and a fellow named John Brown. You've heard of him.
That John Brown? The Harper's Ferry John Brown?
The very same. He spent time at my house in Rochester, broke bread with my family, tried to entice me into following him on that mad crusade, told me that slaves would pick up arms and come running to join us.
He asked you to follow him to Harper's Ferry.
Yes, he did. But I was not prepared to go that far. They called us radicals, madmen. We believed that the violence of slavery could not only end if we met with equal violence, but that when it came down to bloodshed, doubts overwhelmed me.
You and your friends were right, Monsieur. How can you stave such a thing as slavery? Something seeped in violence, economical, social, physical.
Violence could only... I discerned that the slaves held the moral disadvantage, and any violence from them only returned some of that coinage to the masters. I realized that after knocking Kobe on his ass.
But, Monsieur, no moral advantage ever existed. You're speaking as if you presume some legal contract between slaves and masters.
Moral has very little legal permutation. It's a human contract, don't you think? After Harper's Ferry, when the hunt for conspirators began, I slipped across the border into Canada and took a ship to England. Remained there until everything blew over.
Monsieur, you came back just in time for them to use you against Haiti. Think of this. When Haiti gained her independence, the president was William Henry Harrison. The man who sent you to Haiti was his grandson, Benjamin Harrison. 3 generations, Monsieur. For 3 generations, this neighbor simply ignored us.
Use me against Haiti? How? The government of the United States decided to be friendly with you, needed a black face to present to you. I was the most prominent of the time, so they chose me.
Monsieur, you were their spy? Imagine this. A neighbor knocks on your door to ask to borrow a cup of sugar, and when you let him inside, the whole time he's looking at your house for things to steal.
I was no spy. They had impious plans, I knew that.
Then why did you come? Not for the benefit of Haiti, more like the benefit of your
Take it
masters.
easy. You're making false accusations. I was a free man, exercising his free will. They asked me to do a job. I took the job. Told them you would never invite them onto your land, leased them that bed, the Mole St. Nicholas for their coaling station. They told me to offer a large chunk of money. They offered me a bonus if I could change minds.
Why would Haiti shed blood to chase out one white master and then invite in another?
They misunderstood you in so many ways. They thought you were just like black Americans.
They came anyhow. Treat us exactly like they treated black Americans. forged economic partnerships that excluded black Haitians, helped a minority to grab everything, laid the grounds for exploitation. The worst
Sad to
part-
say, they did just that. Find out just what any people will quietly submit to, and you have the exact measure of injustice and wrong that you can impose on them.
Money. It always comes back to money and man's inhumanity to man.
You could have used the money from the lease on the bay to settle some of your debts. You would be better off today for it. But a deeper reason for this resentment between your country and mine is this. Haiti is black, and we have not yet forgiven Haiti for being black. Or for that matter, forgiven the Almighty God for making Haiti black.
Are we destined forever to be the yard dog? Something to be kicked around?
Haiti has shaken off the fetters of bondage before, but she never got the chance to rise. Even nations must learn to crawl, then walk and run. Too many revolutions, too much bloodshed, no time to stand and test her legs. Soon, she will be treated as a full member in the Sisterhood of Nations.
When?
That has to be.
When, monsieur? When?
Your query and resentments are understandable. Failure to resent such handling in one form or another would surely invite more. I need to understand. It certainly was a pleasure talking to you in spite of your belligerence, but what are we doing here? You skillfully avoided my question before.
Searching, monsieur. Searching for the cure to whatever curses you and your masters put on our land. I'll know it when I see it or hear it.
There you go again with that accusatory tone. Do Haitians shoulder any responsibility for what happened to them? An errant. I've heard the word. In Creole it means stop. Trying to stop some kind of curse? What exactly do you need? Maybe I can be of some assistance.
That smirk, monsieur. Why? Our religion offends you?
I've done nothing to harm the people of Haiti. My entire life's work has been about freedom for all people. Women, American natives, blacks, everyone. Why should I stand here and listen to you tear that down?
That African face added a hypocrisy to Haiti's relationship with America. They used you. They used you as a front man.
Your accusations annoy me. I know what I've done. I'm finished with you, crazy woman.
Can't take the heat? Then get out. You let them dress you up, send you out, their house nigger. Get out of my sight. I released you from all bonds to me. This is impossible. But I have to keep going. To give up now will be worse than death. Oh my. Papa Legba, let the president pass. Let his spirit come here from dreams. Let Simbi bring him.
What is this? Who are you invading my dreams?
Mr. President, Monsieur Aristide, Father Aristide, salutations.
I'm at a disadvantage, you are.
I'm not worthy, Monsieur, Father Aristide. I'm a mambo in search of Haiti's future.
Don't call me father. I'm no longer a priest, and certainly not a president. The future of Haiti? Why in this place, Mambo? I thought the future was out there, on the streets and in the homes.
You don't have the slightest idea where we are.
I have my suspicions, but skillfully done, the way you avoided telling me your name.
Monsieur Aristide, I was told never to reveal my name in this realm.
Only thieves and swindlers keep their names secret. Which one are you?
I'm just a Haitian in search for the pieces for an Erit.
There you go again, hiding your name. For me, you may dispense with all the titles. Just call me Jean.
I have too much respect for you just to call you Jean. It makes me uncomfortable. How about Monsieur Aristide?
Whatever gives you comfort. But I must call you something in this discussion. How about Mambo? Pieces for an Erit. And this place, I suspect.
You must be an initiate to even imagine this place.
I'm a Haitian. All Haitians are initiates in the rites of Voudo.
They are Haitians, and they are Haitians, Monsieur Aristide. Believers, unbelievers, and the naive. Not all Haitians are servitors. You know that.
The Temple of Greedy at the crossroads. Far from what I imagined. What are you doing here? This looks like all kinds of trouble.
As I said before, I'm searching for the ingredients for an Erit, not trouble. Like you and Family Lawless, our goals are similar. Comfort and security for the family, both dead and alive.
I know about the uses for an Erit. I've seen it employed many times around houses and property. You are quite engaging, Mambo. So let's talk. But there's only one thing you can be doing here, besides collecting the pieces for an Erit. And my religion forbids that. Are you courting the keeper of the graveyard?
Monsieur Aristide, you're very astute, but I'm not courting Guidi. I'm more of the thief in his household.
Raising the dead. What does the dead possess that can enlighten you about the future of Haiti? No way we can be looking for the same thing. Tell me how that can be.
Monsieur, I'm searching for whatever curses keep us in bondage. To create a place where the people's voice can be heard loud and clear, where their needs are met and the government works for them instead of the converse.
That's the goal of the Family Lavalas. But here we are standing in the place where the past and the present collide. There's only silence from the Loas.
I hear much more than silence in this place. I hear reverberations, the desperate cry of the poor complaining about their starving children, their lack of housing, their empty
You jump
stomachs.
back and forth from the spiritual to the secular. I listen to you speak about the mysterious, and another voice you're speaking about the inscrutable twin beasts, politics and economics.
Forgive me, monsieur, if I sound scolding, but this is Haiti. A place where a person walking down the street is walking with spirits and ancestors. The line between the deceased and the living are as thin as a sheet of paper. How can I not embrace the magical and the practical? I'm standing here, hopeful that God knows best and will guide me down any convenient path.
I'm sorry to inform you that God doesn't trade in convenience. Since my return to Haiti, spirits have been calling my name. Do you know what they want?
Monsieur, I'm not privy to the wants of spirits. It was never my intent to cause mischief. But there is one way. With humility, you can approach our ancestors. Relinquish all pride. Speak in the voice of the ordinary.
Okay then. I relinquish my titles and whisper my deeds softly, shed all pride.
Yes, do that. See if they lend you an ear.
I'm a simple man of empathy. Once a shepherd of souls, now I'm dedicated to the physical wants. A teacher, builder of schools, a servant of the people. Once exiled like Toussaint, a victim of all this disaffection.
Yes. Yes, so much disaffection. Anyone who walked down the street holding a sign that said "Famille Lavalas," your enemy heaped all the blame on you. Murder, violence, rape.
Well, that's the nature of blame. It must be ascribed, but you can't call it blame.
Do you think the ancestors heard you?
Let me plead once more. Great spirits of Haiti, I'm back with my hat in hand. I'm here, a true son of this soil.
Careful, monsieur. I sense hubris in your words. I've been told that the spirits and ancestors feel threatened.
Threatened by what?
Monsieur Aristide, they're threatened by all the discord, the violence. They're afraid that we may not be here someday on this land to pay homage, but they could be forgotten.
Then it might be in their interest to help us, protect us, keep us breathing the air of these mountains.
How did you do it for so long, not being able to return home?
Remember, this was not my first exile. I acquired some coping skills.
Some say you brought it upon yourself. So much hubris, demanding from a bunch of white men, and Haiti not even having one fighter plane or battleship, not even enough guns.
Guns?
Yes.
Only thieves need guns. I demanded nothing. I simply tried to open a dialogue that could have led to some form of reparation and justice for Haitians.
Are you sure you didn't misstep your...
No, this was no game. God directed me to speak for the people of Haiti. What else could I have done? They elected me to lead and speak for them. I had no idea France would be so frightened by such a fair-minded request. After all, it was their ancestors who forced us to pay reparation after we beat them in a rebellion and gained our freedom.
Monsieur, just or unjust, you thought that a bunch of rich white men were just going to hand over billions of dollars to you without some sort of resistance? What would you have done with all that money?
Build up a nation. Try to repair some of the damage, the lack. A proper educational system, roads, bridges, a strong and independent judiciary and police, a robust tax system, foster some equality. What's a democracy without equality?
Lord have mercy. I listened to you men spout your grandiose ambitions. It reminds me of a speech by Aung San Suu Kyi, that woman imprisoned by those soldiers in Myanmar. Well, she spoke of roosters crowing at the dawn, and the belief that if they didn't crow, the dawn would not come. Listening you speak, I almost forgot why I came here. You held me enthralled.
I promised to help you, so what do you need from me for this errand?
I'm not sure. What would you like to contribute? What part of you relating to Haiti would you like to bury?
I can give you an appendage on my tongue. What is this? Some kind of game? I'm fond of games. Tell me, is it bigger than a car? Is it smaller than a mouse? What do you need?
Monsieur Aristide, you have a sense of humor. I thought that priests lack humor.
I'm no longer a priest, Mambo. I regained certain faculties when I left the clergy. But how can anyone be involved in the affairs between God and mankind and not have a sense of humor?
You think we lost our sense of humor?
Could be. Why not? That may be one of the missing ingredients. You are the searcher. I have a feeling that what you seek might be hidden in words or language.
Where might it be hiding? Behind a preposition disguised behind a bunch of diphthongs?
Your attempted humor, Mambo, so filled with agonizing implications. I wish I could steer you to a place of comfort. How about our history? Our mythology and our fables? You may find something there, something you may even want to view as my contribution to your merit.
I see what you mean. I know many of our old histories, but this one with Uncle Bokwe and Tea Melisse, it's in accordance with what we've been talking about.
Uncle Bokwe and Tea Melisse? You have a story that embraces all that we gibbered and jabbered about?
Well, not completely inclusive or comprehensive, but close.
Well, let's hear it. Don't keep me in suspense.
A long time ago, there were no people in the world. The bush was inhabited by animals, and among them was Uncle Bokwe and Tea Melisse. It was around the time that God had just started turning animals into men. He gathered all the animals and he told them to build a great big house to keep out storm and rain and to live in it like one big happy family. The animals were eager for such a task. They set out quickly to chop wood for poles and split some for shingles and a roof. But Tea Melisse, who was lazy, refused to help. The animals discussed it and they decided that when the house was finished, if he refused to help, they wouldn't let him in rain, in storm, or in sunshine. They built the house quickly because of all those willing hands. Tea Melisse, seeing the great achievement, became envious and curious to see inside. He even tried to go in, but was blocked. They even threatened to beat him with a kokomaki stick, which said to contain charms that killed anyone who received its blow. Tea Melisse, however, who never gave in to anyone, decided that he'd get into that house if it was the last thing he did. So he made a small wooden whistle, and at night he crept into the house and slipped underneath Uncle Bokwe's bed. At midnight, when all were sound asleep, he blew on the whistle. Toot, toot, toot. It sounded like a ferry boat's whistle. And then, in a disguised voice, he said, "I'm from God's house. He sent me to tell you to get out, or this house will fall on you. Get out!" The animals were scared and ran pell-mell into the bush, pushing one another out of the way. But Uncle Bokwe, however, simply groaned and continued to snore. Tea Melisse blew on the whistle again. Toot, toot, toot. "I said I'm from God's house. He told me to tell you to get out. You lazy scoundrel, get out!" Uncle Bokwe grumbled about being disturbed from his sleep, but eventually joined his comrades in the bush. That morning, the animals, because they were so democratic back then, held a meeting to decide what to do about the house. They decided to send a pair of cats to see what had happened. The cats went down the trail, and from a distance they could see Tea Melisse pacing back and forth on the veranda of the house, whistling a tune. Tea Melisse saw them too, and had to think what to do about this couple. He looked down, and at that moment he saw the pieces of a broken bottle on the ground, and an idea came to him of how he might be able to keep the house forever. So he leant down and picked up the pieces of the bottle, and he waited for the cats. "Come here, cat, Macomere cat, how are you?" said Tea Melisse. "Not so bad," said the cats. "I came here looking for my friend, Uncle Bokwe, and found the house wide open. I went inside and found not even a fly. But seeing as you are here, maybe you two could do me a favor." "What kind of favor?" asked the cat suspiciously. "I was hoping you could shave my face." And he handed the pieces of the bottle to the cat. Compeer Cat shaved Tea Melisse's face in the shake of a lamb's tail. But then Tea Melisse stuck out his tongue and asked him to scrape that for him also. "I'm going to a fete tonight, and I want to be spick and span." He scraped his tongue for him also, and then Tea Melisse said, "I'd like to bring you two with me to the fete. But, Compeer Cat, your face must be shaved clean like mine, and Macomere Cat, your tongue scraped also." Oh, said Macomere Cat, "you'll scrape his tongue and shave my face too, won't you, Tea Melisse?" "Sure indeed," said Tea Melisse. Compeer Cat stuck out his tongue, and in one stroke, Tea Melisse sliced it half off along with part of his throat. He reached for Macomere Cat, but he missed her. The two cats leapt through the house like a gale. Compeer Cat went straight to his friends in the bush, and he tried to explain what had happened, but the only thing that came out was the rattle of a piece of tongue. Macomere Cat was too scared, didn't go to her companions, but ran further and further into the woods, and only came out at night to steal people's chickens. The animals became afraid of houses, and to this day, they still hold sneaking suspicions about them. So what do you think, Monsieur Aristide?
Mambo, you're an interesting one. Your story could be an allegory about family Lavalas.
Monsieur Aristide, it's just a Haitian tale. Don't overload it with too much meaning. Toussaint Louverture once said, if you tell a man something, he'll forget it quickly. But if you let a man discover that thing, he'll remember it forever.
I've read every word written by Toussaint Louverture. I never ran across those.
He said that to me standing right where you're standing right now. He wasn't just our first leader. He was our first prophet, our Messiah.
You should be careful with those labels. You must have learned something, standing here in the Temple of Guidi and speaking to the dead, speaking with history.
Monsieur Aristide, I used to think that this was a conflict between the people and the Loas. But it's about the land. We need a prophet. Not to talk to the people about the future, but to talk to the people about the now and the land. You could be that prophet.
What's the difference between a prophet and a politician?
Monsieur Aristide, that sounds like a joke in search of a punchline.
Call it what you want. You could be a better prophet than me. You are not tarnished by politics, at least not yet. You could tell the people about the house that God asked animals to build. Speak to them in the ancient tongue, with parables, with maxims. You could be scriptural in the Voudo tradition. You have it in you. Family Lavalas needs voices like yours.
Monsieur Aristide, you are family Lavalas. You are their voice. Now you can tailor your speech to include some of our mythology. The house that God told the animals to build, that must be Haiti. Compere Cat must be the poor and the voiceless. Macomere Cat must be the elite, once an ally, now running, scared, hiding, coming out only to steal and destabilize for their own benefit.
There you have it. Now just flip it like a coin. You instead of me delivering that message.
Monsieur Aristide, I could never be that powerful. You are the voice of family Lavalas. I mean, what would I say to them? I have no credibility. I'm just this one person. What's the use? Even you couldn't bring about permanent change.
Sounds as though you're on the brink of surrender, Mambo. I was campaigning some years ago when this man shouted this question. By yourself, Father, how can you alter these corrupt and unjust conditions we have here in Haiti? And I answered back, in order for rain to come, do you need one or many raindrops? In order for you to have a flood, do you need a trickle or a river in upsurge? Only as one voice can we bring about change. Give me your vote, and I'll be that voice. I meant every word at that moment, and I didn't surrender.
Monsieur Aristide, I came here in search to a cure for whatever ails Haiti. I thought that you could be our prophet, but you led me away from all that down this little word-strewn path.
I'm just trying to illustrate to you the depth of the chasm and the courage needed to walk that thin line over it. I've approached that path many times, and it always comes back to that question. What's the difference between a prophet and a politician?
What's the punchline, Monsieur Aristide?
You know the punchline. All you have to do is open your mouth and let the word come out.
Just one word. Courage. It must be courage, then.
In the words of the Native American Manitonquat, it's clear that the way to heal society of violence and the lack of love is to replace the pyramid of domination with the circle of equality and respect. The prophet can say those words with ease, but the politician needs courage.
I'll say amen to that. Monsieur Aristide, you seem to be fond of quotes and maxims. I know several that could fit many occasions. Would you like a sample?
Let's play a game. One that could get us out of here. I don't want my body to wake up without a soul. So when I win this game, we both get to leave this place.
Who said you're gonna win this game? Then what's the point of this game?
No point, no rules. This is a win-win situation for us.
Sounds like it could be quite a boring game.
Okay then. One small reward from me. The pleasure of saving you from the curse of greed.
Seems like all you men just want to save me. What gives you the impression I need saving?
Mambo, daylight is coming. You need to get out of here. You may not survive this. You must have been told that you need to follow me back.
I see what you mean. I'll go first, okay?
Of course, ladies first, always.
A monkey never thinks her child is ugly. A donkey sweats so that the horse can be adorned with lace. To speak French does not mean you were smart.
Whoa, you can't just whip. Give me a chance to play the game.
Well, go then.
If work were a good thing, the rich would have grabbed it all a long time ago.
That's a good one. Let's just have one rule. You give one and then I give one, okay?
And the loser gets. Even a close friend cannot rescue you from old age.
Don't follow a person who's running away.
A man's wealth may be superior to his appearance.
Don't tell the man carrying you that he stinks.
The eye is a coward. A man who dictates separates himself from all.
Oh, Monsieur Aristide, you're violating our one rule. Remember, a crime eats its own child.
A man must be judged by the work of his hands.
A child's hand was never burnt by a hot yam placed there by his mother.
Do not look where you fell, but where you slipped.
Having good discussion is like having riches. Lack of knowledge is worse than night, darker than night. The bitter
You're
heart
running
eats
away
its own
again.
owner.
I have to follow you. Give me a chance. Okay, here goes. Even the mightiest eagle must come down to the treetops to rest.
To love a king is not bad, but a king that loves you is better.
Amen, Mambo. Amen. We should leave this place now.
So who won, Monsieur Aristide?
That's not important. The sun is about to rise.
Monsieur Aristide, I came here for the search of the pieces of my arret, but you hold the final piece. What would you like to contribute?
Build your arret. Take it into the voice Cayman. Leave it under the control of Bakulu the Terror, the spirit that no one will invoke, the chain-dragging loner. Bury it. Bakulu will guard it. You will never have to worry about such cruel banes hanging over Haiti ever again.
But Monsieur, why Bakulu? I was thinking Brice, boss of the woods, lover of children, the protector. I know the exact place for a chardet tree with an owl's nest in its branches. I picked that place to bury the arret.
And the moment some of his devotees come in search of secrets, and carrying a speckled hen, your arret could be in their hands. Go with Bakulu. The sun is about to rise. Come see me in the waking hours, and we shall speak of prophets and politics, of dreams shared, and of our desires for the future of Haiti.
Monsieur Aristide, at first you sounded so skeptical about voodoo. Now you instruct me.
Mambo, I have read the Holy Bible, the Coptic Bible, the Idrifa, all the holy books of religions, large and small. They hold one common thread. They all say it in one way or another. Tell me the thread, and you may leave, or else you are mine forever.
You're not Monsieur Aristide? Guidi! Was it you? Were you all of them? Did you bait
What
me this whole
difference does
time?
that make? You got your pieces, fully Eret. Now tell me the thread, unless you consent to be my lover for all eternity.
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Would have been a wonderful marriage. Tell no one you stood face to face and rejected my tender entreaties. That would damage my reputation and elevate yours. You are bound to this secret. Reveal it at great peril to your and your progeny.
I promise you were never here. Just Monsieur Aristide and the others.
Took your time. I thought I would have to come rescue you.
No need for alarm, Papa. I was in good company. My eyes are wide open.
Good company, huh? What are you hiding from? Tell me, what did you see? What did they tell you?
I saw them, Papa. They spoke to me about many things, even love, but mostly about trees and water.
Oh, yes. Our ancestors mainly lived through those. Through trees, land, and water. And the maltreatment of those would drive them to fits.
The spirits I conjured spoke to me of their love for Haiti and her people, but all clothed and covered in justifications of one kind or another.
Human nature, given and death. What do? Try to fold it into circumstances. I bet you didn't get too far with you on that one. You know, it's been on your face ever since you were a little girl.
What's that? What's on my face?
The fire inside. All's been shining out of your eyes. I'm so proud of you, sir. This has obviously changed you.
Thank you, Papa. But I don't see what you see. No husband, no children. I'm a coward. I've always been too careful.
Not from where I stand. Not the daughter I know. Many years ago, Papa Doc came to Missoula to do one of many of his political speeches. You walked right up onto the platform he was doing his speech. This turtle cool, just standing right there with their guns on their side, confusion on their faces. You know, relationship with them. Papa Doc sort of reached out, took you by the hands, and pulled you close to him, treated you like his little daughter, and he continued to speak. Didn't miss a beat. Afterwards, I went to get you. He looked at me and said, "This is a brave little one. Haiti will need people like her. Take care of her."
I don't recall doing that.
You did. On the road you walked in this land so far. You think cowards can do that? Tell me more. Tell me more about what you learned. Or what they told you.
It's hard to say, Papa. Such a melange, so imaginary. But they were quite sociable. I may have been too hard on them. But I found the pieces for the arret, which is a good start.
A good start? You had ambitions of finding a cure to what ails Haiti.
Well, my ambitions got muddled in the mixture. But I held fast to burying the Haitian curse.
I can hear it in your voice. Not sure, are you, about what the future holds?
It's obvious, Papa. The hat represents Orisha, the spirit of the head, taking it back. Monsieur Toussaint's rock represents the foundation of Haiti. The button represents what has been closed, hidden from our eyes. Monsieur Aristotle's shoe represents our contact with the earth that is Haiti.
Here's the bag. Put them in. I tried to warn you, but that sea of disappointment in dealing with the spirits. Nothing for sure.
I swam in it, Papa, whole oceans of disappointments, with others drowning right beside me.
You're such a visionary, Zuri. Going after those big goals, big ideas, speaking to the dead, raising history. If the people only knew.
They will know. They have to. How else can we move them towards a new Haitian Renaissance?
So what you going to say? How are you going to get started? I mean, moving from a dead stop is very, very hard.
We were never at a dead stop, Papa. Only slipping and sliding in the mud now and then. I'll tell the people to keep looking forward, to keep their eyes on the horizon.
Sounds prophetic. All those people squeezed together like half-ripe mango between branches. You think they will listen to you on your message? It seemed to me you could do better preaching outright rebellion.
I am, Papa. A new kind of rebellion, one against the suffering and poverty of women and children. No slaughter, no carnage.
I don't want to discourage you, Zuri, but such a hard task, trying to reclaim the land from the people, with just words and the spirit. And how long do you think it takes to plant and grow trees?
We don't need to grow trees. Trees grow themselves. All we have to do is plant and hope for rain. The last time I was in Port-au-Prince, I saw grass and saplings sprouting out from the rubble of the earthquake. We should not be afraid of this task.
Talking about tasks, you have to make peace with my handful when this is all over.
We'll go there soon and start rectifying, right after I do this one last thing that Monsieur Aristide suggested.
Don't worry with me in the handful, Zuri. Trying to undo what has been done is very, very hard work. Let me spend a little time with you down here. Then I'll go home and sit down, wait for them to come to me. People have very, very short memories. But why are you taking advice from a priest?
He's no longer a priest, Papa. He suggested I go to the Bois Cayman and leave this arete as an offering for Bakulu.
Bakulu? Why Bakulu?
No one goes to Bakulu for anything. The arete will be quite safe in the keeping of such a spirit.
Ah, Zuri. I see it clear now. That priest could make a fine, fine hogan.
Mm-hmm.
You and him spreading hope. You know hope is the fuel of humanity. Let's go. Let's go where the priest suggested.